with a passion for social justice and human rights. She was formerly the Ryerson Students' Union representative to the Canadian Federation of Students. In the fall of 2009, Salvador helped to organize and facilitate the Task Force on Campus Racism of the Canadian Federation of Students to identify and challenge discriminatory practices within Ontario's post-secondary education system. She's been a vocal anti-poverty advocate and promoter of affordable and accessible education through the campaign for a poverty-free Ontario. Salvador was part of a successful mobilization to lobby the Toronto Transit Commission and won an unprecedented transit discount for college and university students. Please welcome Leanna.
Hi everyone, so my name is Leanna Salvador and I am just an ordinary student. I have $50,000 in student loans and I am just an ordinary student. I am just an ordinary racialized woman, and by the time I have paid the interest on my student loans, I will have paid twice as much for the same education as someone who could pay in full up front. I am just an ordinary student who knows that education is the key to building a more just and equitable world. Education, when fully accessible at all levels, will liberate us. And when the face of poverty is dominated by women and racialized people, education can and should be a social equalizer. I am just an ordinary student whose parents always told me that knowledge is power. But what my government tells me is that knowledge is just plain expensive. Right here and around the world, we now have to overcome exorbitant user fees just to access education that we have already paid for through our taxation system.
Good for you, bravo!
And for those who manage to scrape by and gain access, it has become more of an economic destabilizer than an equalizer. As student debt in this country has surpassed $13 billion. And for those students who can't access it at all, the cost of education has simply become an opportunity neutralizer. Is this the kind of world we want to live in?
No!
Where only the rich deserve to learn?
No!
I'm just an ordinary student who's left to wonder where education fits within a system that values only commodities that can be bought or sold in a marketplace. Where does education fit within a system that relies on a pool of unskilled workers who can be forced to work for low wages with no rights? What is the point of programs like Caribbean Studies and Women's Studies in an economic system that doesn't give a crap about people or their human rights? The answer is clear because right here in Ontario, they've made cuts to cultural studies at McMaster University. They've made cuts to women's studies at Guelph. They've made cuts to Caribbean Studies at Ryerson. They've made cuts to the theater school at Ryerson. They've made cuts to disability studies at U of T, and everywhere. The fine arts are chronically underfunded. As our public institutions become private schools of business, students are losing the tools that we need to analyze and criticize the status quo. How can we begin to envision